Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success.
What if I told you that every morning, billionaires, world champions, and legendary achievers perform a ritual that takes less than 60 seconds? But it's so brutally honest that 99% of people can't handle it. It happens in front of a mirror. And it reveals the one thing that separates those who dream from those who dominate. Today, I'm going to show you the mirror test. That changed everything for the world's most successful people. We lie to ourselves every single day. We make excuses for why we're not where we want to be. We blame circumstances, other people, bad luck, timing. But there's one place where lies don't work. One moment where the truth becomes impossible to ignore. It's the moment you look yourself in the eyes and ask the question that successful people ask every single morning. The question that forces you to confront who you really are versus who you pretend to be. Every morning at 5:47 a.m., a 34-year-old man stands in front of his bathroom mirror. He doesn't brush his teeth first. He doesn't check his phone. He looks directly into his own eyes and asks himself one question. What did you do yesterday that moved you closer to your goals? Most mornings, the answer is painful. His name is David Goggins, and at this point in his life, he weighs 297 pounds, works as an exterminator spraying for cockroaches, and hates everything about himself. The mirror doesn't lie. It shows him exactly what he's become. Overweight, unmotivated, living a life that disgusts him. But instead of looking away, instead of making excuses, David does something different. He keeps staring. He forces himself to see the truth. You're soft. He tells his reflection, you're weak. You're everything you swore you'd never become. For most people, this would be the moment they break down, make excuses, or look away. But David understands something that would change his life forever. The mirror isn't his enemy. It's his greatest teacher every morning. He stands there longer. He asks harder questions. What are you going to do today that you didn't do yesterday? What excuse are you going to stop making? Who are you going to become? The conversations get more intense, more brutal, more honest, and slowly, something incredible starts to happen. The man in the mirror starts to change. David loses 106 pounds, and for months, he becomes a Navy SEAL. He runs ultramarathons. He becomes one of the toughest men on the planet. But it all started with those brutal morning conversations with himself. The mirror test didn't just change his body. It changed his soul. Here's what David discovered that most people never understand. The person in the mirror is the only person who can change your life. Not your parents, not your spouse, not your boss, not your circumstances. The person staring back at you is the only one with the power to create the life you want. But first, you have to be willing to see them clearly, without filters, without excuses, without lies. 6:15 a.m. A 28-year-old woman stands in front of her bathroom mirror in a tiny apartment in New York City. She's been unemployed for 8 months. Her savings are gone. She's been rejected from 47 job interviews. Her family keeps telling her to move back home, get a safe job, stop chasing impossible dreams. But every morning, she performs her mirror ritual. She looks herself in the eyes and asks, are you going to quit today, or are you going to find a way? Her name is Sarah Blakely, and the woman in the mirror refuses to quit, even when the rejection letters pile up, even when her bank account hits zero, even when everyone thinks she's crazy for trying to start a business with an idea that nobody believes in. She wants to create comfortable undergarments for women. She has no business experience, no connections, no investors, just an idea and a mirror that won't let her give up. For 2 years, Sarah stands in front of that mirror every morning. Some days, she tells her reflection about the companies that hung up on her. Other days, she celebrates small victories that nobody else would understand. But every single day, she asks the same question. What are you going to do today that you've never done before? The mirror becomes her accountability partner, her coach, her source of strength when the world tells her she's not good enough. One morning, she looks in the mirror and makes a promise. Today, I'm going to get my first yes. She drives to every department store in Atlanta, gets rejected by 8 stores. But at store number 9, Neiman Marcus says yes, they'll carry her product. That yes changes everything. Spanx becomes a billion-dollar company. Sarah becomes the youngest self-made female billionaire in history. But it all started with those honest conversations in the mirror. The questions that forced her to keep going when logic said to quit. The mirror test isn't about positive affirmations or feel-good mantras. It's about radical honesty. It's about looking at the gap between who you are and who you want to become, and refusing to look away. It's about asking yourself the questions that make you uncomfortable, because comfort is the enemy of growth, and growth is the only way to close the gap. 5:30 a.m. A 19-year-old college dropout stands in front of a cracked mirror in his dorm room. He has been kicked out of Reed College for not paying tuition, but he's sneaking back into classes anyway, sleeping on friends' floors, returning Coke bottles for food money. Everyone thinks he's thrown his life away. His parents are disappointed. His friends think he's lost his mind. But every morning, he performs his mirror ritual. His name is Steve Jobs, and the question he asks his reflection every morning will eventually change the world. If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do? Today, for months, the answer is no. He is attending random classes, unsure of his direction, living like a homeless person. But he keeps asking the question every single morning, forcing himself to confront the truth about whether he's living or just existing. The mirror sessions become more intense, more focused. He starts asking different questions. What do you want to create that doesn't exist? What problem do you want to solve that nobody else is solving? What legacy do you want to leave? The conversations with his reflection become the foundation of everything he'll build. Apple, Pixar, the iPhone, the iPad. Technologies that change how humans interact with the world. Years later, when Steve is worth billions and is considered one of the greatest innovators in history, he still performs his mirror test every morning, even when he's dying of cancer. He looks in the mirror and asks, "Am I living true to myself today?" The mirror that once reflected a confused dropout now reflects a man who changed the world. But the questions never stopped. The honesty never wavered. The mirror test reveals something that most people spend their entire lives avoiding: the truth about who they really are versus who they pretend to be. The gap between their potential and their reality. The difference between their excuses and their possibilities. Successful people don't avoid this gap. They measure it, they study it, they attack it every single day. So here's my challenge for you. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you brush your teeth, before you do anything else, stand in front of a mirror. Look yourself directly in the eyes and ask yourself the question that will change your life. What am I going to do today that I didn't do yesterday? Don't look away. Don't make excuses. Don't lie to yourself. Just answer honestly, because that person in the mirror, they're the only one who can give you the life you want. David Goggins transformed his body and mind through mirror conversations. Sarah Blakely built a billion-dollar empire by refusing to quit on her reflection. Steve Jobs changed the world by staying true to the person he saw in the mirror. They didn't succeed despite their mirror tests. They succeeded because of them. The question is, are you ready to meet the person in your mirror? Are you ready to ask the questions that will change everything? Your reflection is waiting. What are you going to say?